Hello everybody and welcome to another Space Engineers developer live stream. I'm Zockley and I'm joined by Marek Rosa here to talk to you about some things today. So it's good to be here, and also just like to say thank you to everyone who's been supporting us after the release here. It's been kind of crazy, right? We've had the most players ever playing Space Engineers in its like 6 years of being first on Steam. So it's great for us to see. And Marek, do you want to say anything about like the last month?
Yeah, it was very interesting because many players, sometimes it peaked at 20,000 or something, and I think daily players numbers is 60,000, 80,000, so it's really well. Also the sales are of course good, which is also good for everyone. And it looks like that people were satisfied with the release, with getting out of early access. So yeah, the last month was very good.
And also thank you to everyone who continues to use our support site to report bugs and leave your feedback as well. That's also really appreciated.
Yeah.
So, without further ado, should we roll the video? And basically this will also, of course, tell you what we've been up to and what you can expect today. Yeah?
Yes.
We'll do it? Okay. Right then, without further ado, I'll roll the clip.
There are many things which inspire us to create. The desire to help our fellow engineers. The exhilaration felt after we try something completely new. The urge to improve something that already exists. The wish to share our stories with others. Or perhaps it's the will to overcome our fears. The need to create has always been with us. It was with us when we left Earth, and it continues to guide us across the stars. Whether exploring new worlds or building something that has never been seen before, we never stop creating. But creating isn't just about practicality. It's about being bold. It's about taking the ordinary and turning it into something extraordinary. It's about comfort. It's about blending functionality with style. It's about beauty. It's about developing technologies to protect the natural world. It's about learning from the past in order to make a brighter future. It's about breathing new life into the status quo. It's about letting your imagination run wild. It's about something bigger than all of us. It's about being proud of your creations. It's about not settling for something that's good, but striving to achieve something that's truly great. Introducing the Space Engineers Decorative Pack. What will you create?
All right, guys. So there you go. There you have it. That is what we've been up to. We've been super busy the last month, and hopefully you like what you're seeing here. Let me just quickly get this new image up. Boom. There we go. That's the name of today's update. And first of all, what are you feeling, guys? What are you feeling about what you just saw?
By the way, maybe I will just step in.
Yeah,
I will
go
give
ahead.
the go for the guys to unleash the
Okay,
release.
right, yeah.
So Peter, you are there. Please unleash the release and blog post and everything.
So it should be going live right now. I'm going to jump into Marek's blog post and actually make sure we can go down all the points, because I'm sure you have a lot of questions about certain elements of this. So we are going to just click on that and then F5 that here. And we're going to go over now all the things in this update and talk about both the free content, which is the platform update, and premium content, which is coming out today for Space Engineers. So,
Yeah.
where would you like to begin? Would you like to?
I think it will take a while. So
Okay.
yeah. So maybe let's ask people what they want to discuss first.
Yeah, well,
because there are many things in this update.
let's see here. What would you guys? I'll tell you what I'll do is I'll get the game up now while we're doing this. Okay. Here we are. Okay. See. I'll leave it to you, Marek. What do you want to start with first? And
Okay, so people are asking about the price, so let's solve this one first, right?
Yeah, right.
So there are no like misunderstanding or anything. So we set the price pretty low. It's only $3.99, and that's it.
Yes. So this update brings the update for everyone, and everyone will. There'll be no segregation of people who have this content and don't have this content. Basically, all players and multiplayer will be able to see these additional blocks. And just going back here, so the LCDs and all that functionality is for everybody. It's a platform update to update the new LCDs, and every LCD screen can actually have these customizable. You can show information like hydrogen. You can show information, speed, a horizon indicator, a clock, custom colors. You can completely change the way the HUD looks. You can have like blue on black. You can have red and white. So the screen's completely customizable, and this is available for everybody. And secondly to that is the replay tool. Also free, which is what we use to do our videos internally. And as you saw in the video, this is what allows us to layer up multiple characters, and you can have a lot of fun with this to create really cool looking scenes and cinematic videos.
Yeah, this is actually the secret tool that only Joel has been able to use for last year.
Yes,
year
exactly.
And a half.
It's been
So now it's there for everyone. And so again, just again to not confuse people, this update has kind of like two parts.
Yeah.
One is free and is for everyone who owns Space Engineers. There are LCD screens, customizable LCD screens, replay tools, Steam badges, and some other smaller things. But we will get to them later.
Yeah.
And then there is the decorative pack, which is paid. It's $3.99. And we'll get to reasoning why we decided to make this decorative pack now, and so we'll get to this later. But again,
Yes,
there are
yeah.
also like very good reasons behind this.
We'll address because let's say there's of course being the first update after release. I'm sure there's lots of questions. So the blog post is already up, so you can skip ahead now and read. But we're going to go over it and address some concerns you might have, ask some questions, and go over the finer details. Just to kind of some of the other things. We also have if you have the Deluxe Edition. There's new soundtracks, for example. We have 3 new soundtracks which have been made from based off the recent trailer music. So there's new soundtracks out there for the Deluxe, and also Steam badges, Steam trading cards, Steam backgrounds, Steam emoticons, all the Steam-based community items. There are now Space Engineers themed items there on the Steam as well. So that's also there. Mm-hmm. So I'm gonna crack into the game and load a world up here, I think, to show this stuff.
Okay. Yeah, so
and I'll let you.
The blog post is finally out. So if you go to blog.marekrosa.org, you can read like a really huge blog post about this update, and we'll go also through it and explain things. Yeah. I think this is a great update, to be honest, and I see it from the reactions of people that they love it. I don't know what is better, if the replay tool or LCD, or actually the decorative blocks, you know.
I'm just getting actually maybe in the shit there's some stuff. So let's have a look here. So straight away I'm going to look at.
Okay, so there is kind of like a repeating question.
Okay, right.
If I own the decorative pack and my friend not, what will happen or how they will play together. So basically the way we did it is that we don't want to split the community. So if you don't own the DLC but you're playing on a server where some people have it, then you will see all the blocks, like they will be able to, other players will be able to use them, build with them, but you will not be able. But you will see them and you will be able to have like very basic, just physical interaction with them, but not use them and not build them, not place them. And that's it, that's the only limitation. And we really set the price as low as we could, and to make it affordable for everyone, And the reason why we, there are more reasons in the blog post, but the reason why we decided to make the paid decorative pack is that there are people who were constantly asking how they can support space engineers development, further development of space engineers, and how can they pay more money and so on, because the game has like set price and it's not free to play and you cannot pay more. So this decorative pack is one of the ways how people can pay more. Another is they can still buy Deluxe Edition, they can buy some merchandising, like t-shirts and things. And again, it's way how to support future development of space engineers. It doesn't mean we would not support the space engineers without decorative pack, but with decorative pack, with the revenue that will come from it, hopefully we can do it easier. So Joel, you can say.
I was just going to say, I'm just showing off, I'm going to get into this. I'm in the new industrial cockpit, which is part of the decorative pack, but as you can see, the functionality here of the new customizable LCD screens, which also, yes, I saw some comments, work with the programmable block. And we have some amazing things that have been cooked up by some of our closed testing group, including a radar script, among others. So this is totally accessible via the programmable block, and you can expect some crazy things to be displayed on these screens over the coming weeks. So I want to quickly show you this new block and how it looks down here. So we're in the cockpit, and we go down and we choose the panel. We've got the left screen, the center screen, the right, the keyboard, and the numpads. That's 5 potential places to show information. So let's change the center one to show an artificial horizon. Let's show the left one to display our velocity, and our right one to show a digital clock. And the digital clock is, well, the clock's based off your system's clock. Let's do that. And then we can also change some colors here as well. So let's go to the artificial horizon and let's make the background of this. Hold on, I did the wrong one here. I need this one, energy, that's it, right, good. Okay, the center one here, I'm gonna go and turn off to basically make it black. And then we're gonna go for kind of like that military green pattern. So you can see how you can completely change LCD screens, not just this classic blue, but you can make them look however you like. And it's super exciting because it's such a powerful tool. It means you're immersed. You don't have to have your HUD on to actually show you information. So it's it's really, really a big deal, and I've been so excited to actually get this out there. So that's one of the things I just want to get on, and I guess if I jump down here quick, I can show you that this is the same for large grid LCDs. So if you have a large ship, let's put this down here. We can come over to this LCD, hit K, and again we can choose between text and images and scripts. So we're going to show the script here, and these are vanilla scripts pretty much. These are what we have here. We have 6 vanilla scripts, but they will work with the Steam Workshop and modding scripts as well. So let's do the analog clock here. There we go. Nice big clock, and we'll change the background to. Let's see. It might take a second to. Let's see if this updates properly. Okay, maybe. Let's see here. Sometimes the script when it's there we go, it's grabbing the thing, so that's not very easy to read that particular color, but I'm just showing again you can have it however your ship design and is, you can have the matching colors for that. So as you can see, I'm struggling to speak here because I'm quite excited to show all this for you guys, but it's really, really powerful, this new tool, and I'm going to quickly get in the old one here. So.
In the meanwhile, Jesse is already copy pasting the link to the Decorative pack Steam page for people who already want to get it, before we get to Decorative pack in the stream.
It's a lot to show. There's a lot to show, both from the free features and then the additional features as well. So here's the classic cockpit, and all cockpits, so when you load into any of your worlds, they'll automatically have this enabled. So when you jump into your existing worlds and builds, they'll have the default layout, which is the artificial horizon in the center, gravity on the right, and hydrogen on the left here. I'll quickly show again how I can come in here, and let's change the keyboard, for example. Let's show on the keyboards an analog clock or like a digital clock, and then on the left screen I'm going to put a I'll leave it as it is, but again I'll change here the color. Let's put like a black text with a white background here, and then maybe the right screen I'll have it to show some text and images. And the new thing as well is that you can have a text and an image on the same thing here. For example, I can add a danger icon. There you go, you can see it in the background there. And then I can also warning, need to get fuel. Okay, right. So now you see down there, this is a bit small on this screen, but I can change the size of this and need, and then on the need line, okay. So you can almost make a shopping list in your thing. If I turn down the screen here as well, the FOV, so we're a bit closer in, there you go. That's a more standard FOV, and you can see how we can display text over images, and this is the same for every single LCD screen in the game, which is so awesome. I'm going to quickly jump down here as well and show you one other change we made. And because in the past with the control seat you had a full screen, so it was no need to really look at this big blue thing, but now with this one you can actually sit and look at this first person. And this is one of the subtle changes we made here, so you can actually have a full screen view of something on here. Let's actually put a script on, and let's put the artificial horizon on there. So now I can just sit looking right in this big screen and taking a look at this new control seat as well. So that's also a subtle change there.
And these LCDs are customizable from the programmable block, from the mod API, and of course from the selected lists. So we are expecting that in coming days people will make just like tons of new scripts that you will be able to use and display, I guess, any kind of data that you want. Pretty much
that you can get from the game. I'm actually going to quickly show you guys, I've suddenly thought of something, one that's already been made by a community member. You guys might know Whiplash, and this is very, very cool indeed. And I just suddenly remembered about it, but I think it's a perfect example of the power of what modders will be able to do. So here we go. This is Whiplash's radar system. Hold on a minute. So we'll do this.
And by the way, tomorrow, the same time as today, there will be a stream where our programmer Miro will explain the programmable blocks and LCDs, right, Joel?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So we're going to have a technical stream tomorrow with one of our programmers talking about these screens, because Mira did a lot of work on them.
Yeah.
So actually we're going to be running through how to make some maybe and have a look at what we can do with the power of it. So definitely come back tomorrow if you're interested to see more detail behind the tech behind these LCD screens. So
it should be basically a tutorial, that's the idea. And then it will be live stream. And then we also will make it as a video for people who want to get like deeper into programmable blocks and customizable LCDs and stuff.
So there we go, guys. I just thought you might appreciate that. Shout out to Whiplash, of course, running this awesome script here. So just an example of what modders will be able to do with this. Right. Okay then.
So the customizable LCDs, they are part of the vanilla game. They are free for everyone who has Space Engineers.
Here we come into a kitted out red ship here. And you might be able to see some of these. Hold on, let me get my camera right. Decorative blocks in action. Of course, in the centerpiece here, the console block, which allows you to display your favorite blueprints and grids on this projector, down to a level of 2%. So bigger ships will actually be hanging over it potentially, but this is, when it comes to our engine, we had to make it so it was 2% smaller. But on the whole, it's okay, because if you have a bigger ship, you'll tend to have a bigger bridge or a bigger place to place this. So that's a worth point here. We can actually come over to this console block and actually show you how you can change the screens on the console block. So if I come over here, this is kind of still tying in with the custom LCDs here. We've got the large display, and we can have a script, and let's put actually an analog clock. There you go, another clock onto the screen on this, and likewise we can put text or numbers onto the little numpads here. Another option with this, I think the projection area, we can actually put a script on this maybe. We put a script and we can do an analog clock as well. The analog clock's quite nice, because it's nice and animated like that and on the static ship right now. So basically you can see just how powerful these new LCDs are on all the blocks.
Mm-hmm.
And have a look around how we have our couch. Let's see here. Very cozy. Now the armory block, which actually has in two forms, it has both this open locker style and a closed room style, and this is actually acts as storage. You can see here we've got tools, weapons, ammo, and personal items can be stored inside the armory block. So you can see it's quite nice there, often the taken off. Got the planter, adding a bit of green to your ships. Okay. And you can see what's so great about the tables, the desks we have, is they're actually modular. So you can create many shapes of it. And actually, maybe I'll demonstrate this in just a second. Come back here. Oh, here's the standard lockers. Again, we've got standard lockers here. And you can see there's a couple of parts you can interact with. And again, this stores, I think, any items actually, the lockers. But still, really nice. And the lockers actually fit really good with the armory lockers as well, so you can kind of see some combinations you can come up with here.
So just a repeat for people who were not here from the beginning.
Yeah.
We are talking about the decorative pack, which is the paid part. Before we were talking about the LCD, customizable LCD, which is the free part, and we'll go over all 14 new decorative blocks and also how you can combine them, and some of them have some functionality. And tomorrow at same time as this stream, we'll have a live stream about programmable blocks and customizable LCD screens. So yeah. Joe, maybe I will add one thing.
Yeah, go ahead.
Our artists, they really enjoyed working on this decorative pack. This is maybe, I really want to mention this because I think many people will not realize how kind of like happy they feel when they get this kind of assignment, because sometimes they are just fixing maybe some things here and there and so on, but I think they really thrive when they get to concept, design, and then build like full block. I think that's when they are really happy.
Yeah, this to create something new like this for the artist, it was a party indeed.
And also they need to create something new, but something that is still fitting the visual style of the game. Even details like like how curved are the edges on individual shapes on a block, and how to make it, for example, so that multiple blocks or like some blocks you can in a modular manner put them together and make them like a bigger table and so on. So yeah.
So I'm just showing off here the desks, how you can combine them to make different shapes, right? Now, one of the interesting ones here, we have the, no, hold on, I'll get the toilet block. So here we go. You can see in by the red which bits are colorable. Now we have two variants of this. We have the toilet room, which has some nice detail in here. You've got a place to wash your hands and all that. And we have the toilet seat, which is a standalone seat here. And yes, before you ask, you can in fact take a little seat on this toilet seat here.
And when we are designing this decorative pack, we're really trying to keep it decorative only. So like you shouldn't expect brand new functionality, like the stuff from the toilet coming somewhere, feeding something else, or going to conveyor system or something like this. No, it's really just decorative. Only there are a few exceptions where it's not only decorative. In the blog post you will see more details, but for example the console block, obviously it's not just decorative, it has some functionality. The cockpit obviously is it's kind of decorative because we already had cockpit, so this is just another cockpit, but it's a cockpit, so it has some functionality and so on.
Okay, hold on. I'm just going to show off this as you speak about it. I'm going to show off the console block here. So it works similar to a projector. As you can see, I've just spawned in a glorious Argentavis. Many of you guys will have fond memories of the Argentavis here. And I have the same kind of controls here. See, I can try to, depending on how you make your blueprint, you might have to center it correctly, right? So here's the Argentavis. And you'll also see here a scale slider. So you can actually scale it to 100%, which would be like a standard thing, or you can actually have it like some kind of medium size. So you just know that players are going to be making a ship museum at some point. But due to render reasons and engine reasons, the smallest you can make it is 2%, and that's the standard here. So I'm going to quickly show what happens if you put in a bigger ship. Hold on a minute. Perfect example here.
Two Panzer is saying that toilet, that is the new passenger seat.
Yeah, it is. You can use it if you want to do that.
Yeah. I think you cannot use it as a cockpit, but I'm sure someone will mod it, right?
Possibly. I think it's going to happen. It's going to happen at some point. You know what I'm going to do, Marek, though? I can't get this to work. I just can't get my workshop to load properly. So I'm going to quickly showcase some bigger ships. This particular ship is made by Commander Rotel. But this shows you here how a bigger ship projected looks like on this. You can see it still looks pretty damn sick. Let me just show this here. Here we go. There's two of Commander Rotel's Star Trek recreations there, and you see that is at 2%, so it is extend the table, but it still looks pretty cool. And if I actually go back here, hold on. That's the screenshot. That's the armory play tool. There we go. You can kind of see how you can imagine now having a ship museum, right? And it's definitely, be careful with the number of these you place, because they use similar projector tech, right? So, all right, quick showcase there of that. And one thing that I'm kind of trying to do this in like an orderly manner here, but
well, we have the order here, so now it's the bedtime, so we can show the bed.
Okay, it's bedtime, is it?
And
all
then
right.
Standard and corner desks, but I think you showed them.
Yeah, I've kind of gone a bit random order as they appeared, but like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So there's, I think in total with variants, with like the seat, I think there's 12 blocks, right?
14.
14, there's 14 blocks. So, and here's the large grid. Cockpit, which is a little bit different. What's so cool about this is that it has a door on the back. So when you're designing a ship, you can literally have a thing running to this block here. You just try and make a quick corridor, and it actually looks pretty damn sweet. Let me just put this here. So you can come up to the back of this, you can look inside, and then we're in. We've got screens up here.
By the way, the deco pack and the modders, there is actually a note about this in the blog post, and basically what it says is that when modding the decorative blocks, copy the current settings and then do the change on top of that. The mod will also include the DLC tag. And then there is the DLC tag in the blog post, so you can see it. Basically, this means that people can start modding the deco blocks, but to make them work, of course, people need to own the deco pack. But on top of this, people can do their modifications.
I saw a comment about performance of the LCD screens. Now, the LCD screens in the Cockpit are client side, so it's all run client side, so running these scripts will not have an effect on the server. Right, so that's one point. So you said the bedtime, didn't you? So let's go back to the bed.
And Not the Hint is asking, will the LCDs be available outside the DLC? Like, obviously LCD is part of the vanilla game, it's free for everyone.
So here is the bed block. You can kind of imagine how you might build this into some smaller crafts. It has a built-in window here, and also you can stack these. So I think the idea with the design of this block was about it being a bed for zero-G situations, right? Given the reason of the kind of the cage, the kind of straps here, I think the idea was about zero-G situations and kind of keeping you in place when your ship's drifting, right? So that was the bed block. There's something today on the stream I'm noticing. I don't know if the OBS, is the stream 60 FPS, guys? Like, does the game look 60 FPS? Because I've definitely got in game now, but it seems like the stream is it smooth, Marek? It seems like it's 30 today for some reason. I don't know what the capture's gone strange. It's okay, I guess, but it's just didn't notice that.
By the way, we have a lot of viewers on the stream.
Yes.
It's 670 on Twitch, and I don't know how much on YouTube. But that's nice, it's not as much as we had on the release day.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, I think that was 2,000 and more. But if you can maybe, Joel, show how much we have on YouTube.
We can ask them. Guys, how many viewers do we have on YouTube right now? let me see here. I can try and get up. Wait. I've got the Twitch numbers up. 1,100 on YouTube.
Okay, that's nice.
Yeah, very nice.
So if you count them together, we are almost 2,000. So that's good.
So here we have the kitchen block. Again, this is a purely decorative block, but again, you can really work this nicely into some builds. And in a second, I'm going to quickly load up some encounters that Aragaf's made, because there are brand new encounters that you can find out there that feature the new blocks. So you can come across some really creepy, abandoned, like broken off stations that have all these kind of mess halls and barracks and all that kind of stuff. So it's really gives a nice feeling to your ships now, right? So the planter.
By the way, there was a question when the Xbox version will come out. So the question is, we are working on it, so hopefully soon. But we are working on it.
I see. It's definitely a big part of the update. I'm just thinking my train of thought is drifted here. Is that yes, the encounters are also another major free part of the update, right? These new free encounters.
Yes.
So I don't know how many. Maybe Aragaf can say how many there are, but there's many new free ones, and I think some old ones have been updated as well. So again, if you don't have the DLC, you won't be able to use the blocks. but most of them are decorative anyway, but you will be able to grind them down and take the parts off them, right? So once again, for those joining later, we have done it in a way so it doesn't split the community in any way where you can't join people's worlds or anything like that. It's in the game, but if you like to build them and use the cockpits, for example, you need to make sure that you own that content.
Okay, so Argaf is saying 10 new encounters and 10 reworked older ones. Yeah, that's nice. And by the way, there are some screenshots of these encounters, 2 of them in the blog post. Then while Joel is showing the deco pack, I will also talk about the 3 new tracks for the Deluxe Edition, like music tracks, and they are based on the music that we had in the Getting Out of Early Access trailer, you know, the last one, the one that we released kind of a month ago. And so there was some music which was a new one, like new kind of melody, new style, and we decided to make 3 new music tracks for the soundtrack based on that. So Karel, the composer, he was very happy with this because he always likes to make music. And so he made it. And one of the tracks is also on our YouTube channel as some kind of teaser, you know, that we released last week. And the other 3 are part of the Deluxe Edition. So everyone who already owns Space Engineers Deluxe Edition, which is just slightly more expensive than Space Engineers itself, will get this update for free, or is getting the update for free.
And meanwhile, guys, I'm just showing off the armory block and the 2 variants of it. You have this enclosed variant, which again, for smaller compact builds, can make it interesting because you have these thin walls built into the block. So that's why we have some of these blocks that have this kind of room variant, and then the actual open variant like this, which again can be combined really nicely with the locker block as well here.
It's very nice. I really like the shape of these blocks. You know, they are so precise. Because sometimes some of the blocks in Space Engineers, they are not so precise. They feel like kind of rough. And but especially these blocks that we see right now, they are so well done. I think they're actually showing how the Space Engineers could look like in the future.
Mm-hmm. I mean, our artists are always learning new techniques and always striving to improve the quality of the models. So this is the greatest yet, right? Because they've taken everything they've learned from making all the existing blocks and applied them to these, right? Mm-hmm. So you could just scrolling down the block. I think we're making good progress now. It's just obviously this is with any update, it's always trying to contain our excitement, I think, because there's always so much to show.
So another 3 things that are part of this update are Steam badges, Steam trading cards, Steam profile badges, and other things. You will see them, I guess, in Steam and also in the blog post. You get some sneak peek. So Joel, I think regarding the deco pack, we showed all of it.
I think so, yeah, I believe we have. I haven't shown off, wait a second. Well, what I'm going to do is now, actually, Marek, is I'm going to show some of these in some of the environments, right? So I'm going to back out of this world real quick. What's interesting to see is the ways you can combine the blocks, because they have been thinking about, when you look at them, the different ways you can combine them. Like if you lay them out like that, you think, okay, there's 14 blocks there. But when you actually combine them into different desk shapes and different combinations, actually you start, it feels like there's even more, right? Let me just find what we've got here. So I've got new cockpit. Okay, this is some vehicles actually featuring it. This is, okay, I'll show all of these real quick here. We've got, this is...
Joel, I will leave for a second just to check if everything is...
Okay, yeah, go ahead. Well, yeah, I'll just carry on explaining things. So, again, I'll kind of get through this, guys, and then I will look at some more questions here as well. Because I haven't been able to read chat some. I think Marek's been on chat due to... Oh, hello. Or not that one. Marek's been on chat duty today. So I've just been trying to... So let's come back to this one. This was a scene from the trailer, and it shows off the new blocks here. Right, so here's the scene, and this is a build by Northie Park featuring the new industrial cockpit. And I have to admit, as you guys know with my racing, this is built by Aragaf as well. I'm super hyped to actually see some of these cockpits used in the Dakar Rally races that I've been doing on my channel over the last couple of weeks. So I think there's going to be some really interesting designs incorporating these into racing maps, right? So I've got a small kind of grid racer here, also made by Aragaf, Northview Parks, big, thick rover here, a kind of fighter variant, which looks pretty sick with that new cockpit on. A miner featuring it as well, and again with that better visibility, right? You've got this. If you can compare the different visibilities you get from this new one while looking down, right, compared to the other one, because the other one you're basically looking over like this. You haven't got anything below this point. So for the construction ships, for mining ships, this is really, really fantastic. We have the large grid variants, and this is built onto a ship which I've used before from one of the trailers here. You can kind of fly through here, and again, this is even better for looking at the interior, right? So let's fly through the back of the ship. Here we go, up the steps, and we come through here, and we come to the rear of this, and again have this awesome door, which if you enter via the door and you hit F, you'll exit via the same way, right? You won't come out the front or anything like that. So we can come in here and have a little sneak peek at our engineers sat in here in the large grid variant. And finally, there's one that I cooked up. This is using Conrad, friend of mine. This is the Thunderhog. And I kind of did some trickery with this to kind of make this new cockpit incorporated into it, because it's more industrial, but this is more of like a military design. I kind of put like a Gatling turret underneath the neck like this, but I thought it came out pretty good in the end. So this is this Thunderhog re-envisioned with the new industrial cockpit on it there. So there you go. So you didn't even notice that, did you, in the trailer, Conrad? So let me see if I can get inside. Oh, there's someone inside already. So I can use the new replay tool, which is something we haven't discussed yet. So the new replay tool, what I use for making videos at Keen, and I know that our creators are going to be doing the same. Basically, Alt F10 into the admin screen, and there's a new drop down called replay tool. And in here, we can add characters. We can hit F6 to change between the characters, and all the instructions how to use this are in this screen. And there's also a replay tool tutorial, which has just gone live as well, which I made really quickly to just kind of do it in a different manner so you can follow the steps with me on that video. So anyway, via this, I'm going to switch to the player inside the, that's right. There we go here. We can kind of see how I did the trailer here. All right, looking around. Looking down, as if I get this level with the terrain here, hold on.
But Joel, everything seems okay.
Yeah,
like,
everything's
okay. Yes.
Fantastic, absolutely fantastic. So I'm going to level up here with the terrain, because this is kind of giving a better idea. And now if I look down, that's the visibility that I've got. If I quickly come here and swap this out, I'm just comparing the standard cockpit visibility, Marek. So I just slap this in here, hopefully. The difference is, like so, right? I can't see the two engineers beneath it. I can't see the ground beneath me either. So that's the kind of difference in visibility that you get with the new industrial cockpit and the standard cockpit. So, there we go. And finally, I just wanted to show off, or with the cockpits, I think finally, is the new fighter cockpit. Not the new fighter cockpit, sorry, the fighter cockpit, but how the LCDs look in the fighter cockpit as well, because the fighter cockpit also features customizable LCDs, like with all the LCDs in the pack, in the update. So here we go, we can look down here. It's a different layout, but with this ship, whoa, seeing the artificial horizon on the screen feels really pretty sweet. Mm-hmm. And if you want to kind of turn up the FOV here, this is just below standard, but if you want to have some, you've got to kind of weigh it up between seeing more of the LCDs from the standard view, but all being zoomed out further. So if you zoom in, like this, we can look down, we can see the analog clock there, we can see the hydrogen counter going away. We can change this LCD just next to me here, the one in the center. So every single LCD can be customized, and you can put exactly what you want on it. But what's so great about this, Marek, is on this center one, I can see my speed, my altitudes, and the kind of angle I'm at without having the HUD on, right? So the HUD is, in some ways, for flying ships is kind of...
What I would like to see on the LCD is actually some kind of 3D, like radar volumetric visualization. You know, so, like you see through the objects and everything. Yeah, that's what I would like to see there.
I'm not actually sure where the limits are, honestly, but you bet that our modders will quickly figure out exactly what they can do.
They're already doing it.
Oh, they are. They are. We have some people helping us in CTG, and some of these guys are actually, you know, helping us to create these crazy things. So here we go. FOV lower now. I'm a bit more zoomed in, but it means that I can actually see these screens a little clearer now. Actually, let's change that center one.
And yeah, there is also a question regarding the price of Space Engineers. So basically, on the release day, we like lowered the price of Space Engineers, and we make it equal in all countries except some exceptions. Basically, it just went like through standard Steam pricing, you know, like rules or something. And then with this decorative pack, we also priced it as low as we could to make it affordable. And again, it's the money goes to support the further development of Space Engineers, and I think it's normal thing. And I think what is also nice, even though like I'm talking about us, is that we never did this during the development. So basically, people who bought the game, who bought Space Engineers 5 or 6 years ago, were getting 150 or something like this updates without paying for anything. Of course, like the game was in early access, so it's kind of okay, but still, there was a huge amount of new features and new things all these years. And so I think this is positive. This was a positive move on our side.
So you see, Marek, I'm converting this ship now to have this kind of military style.
Yeah, that's nice.
Let's see, final one. Get rid of the blue, and there we go. Let's see. Oh shoot! Wrong button.
And regarding the replay tool, there will be some videos from Aaron and Captain Jack, right?
Yeah, and you can bet that all our creators will be putting out videos as soon as they find the time to do it, because this is massive for showcasing stories in Space Engineers. Right?
The replay tool is actually the biggest thing from this update, in my opinion.
In some ways for sure.
Yeah, and because like there are a few reasons. One is that until now only Joel was having this tool. And from now, everyone has this tool, and the people who are creating machinima or just videos in Space Engineers, they will have much more power, because they will be able to make scenes where there are multiple players, multiple engineers doing something, and the stories will be much more interesting, and they will have much more control over the actual story. So basically, I think everyone can do the same level of trailers that Joel has been doing for last year, you know, with all the like explosions and
eventually
like 20 ships flying, 20 engineers doing stuff. Everyone will be able to do this.
Don't get good too quickly.
So what is good about this, I think, for everyone, is that we'll get much more high quality Space Engineers videos on YouTube, which means more people will be watching them, and you know, I think it will grow the community actually. So this is a good thing. Another is that I want to see those videos, you know, because until now my only source of interest of this kind of videos, not that the others are not, but this kind of videos, the only source for me was Joel. But with the replay tool, I will have much bigger source of interesting videos. So that, and yeah, I'm really looking forward to this. And Joel made a tutorial where you can learn more about the replay tool. I think that's nice. And Joel, the plan was also to include some cinematic, you know, like tips and tricks in the tutorial, or that will be next one?
I did mention some. I mentioned some of the things, some of the tricks. I'm opening up all my secrets because I think some of them people just don't know about or don't use. So I am expecting to have some fierce competition in the Space Engineers video department now. Just a shout out also, this script in particular was made by our programmer Fremen. Fremen is a big, he's in the chat there. He's a big fan of flight simulator games, so this is something I believe he really wanted. So he made this, and you kind of see here as I come down to the ground, we actually get a pull-up warning, and up we go. So just a shout out there to Fremen, because it's probably, it has to be my favorite of the scripts, the vanilla scripts we have here. So, yeah.
Very nice.
So I'm just trying to think, Marek, I can try and show some of the. Is it what do you play, Frem? I forget. What's your favourite flight simulators? And I think the main thing about this is, I mean, it's obviously going to be a topic of discussion, right? This update and what it's bringing. And I think the main thing is it's because of the blocks, it's nearly all decorative in form, so it's not going to particularly take so much away if you don't have it, and you can still play with your friends with it. It's more of those kind of nice to have things, and all the things that I've been showing in the last 10 minutes are all vanilla. These are all this LCD stuff. This is all totally out there for everyone. And also,
and the replay tool, we actually had it for years. What the programmers had to do is to move it to the visible part of the game, right, Joel? And I think they fixed the GUI a little bit here and there, but Joel knows better. But I don't think it was a big thing for us, right?
It wasn't such a big thing.
We already had the tool, so we just had to make it more accessible. But I think again the return on investment on this tool is huge. It will be exponential, in my opinion.
An outdated world. It's a shame. I've got some scenarios I wanted to show off that Jochen made, but unfortunately they're not working because I think they're older and some things changed. Maybe this one will work. Let's see if this will work. Please. Yes. No. Oh man. Some in development build, some development worlds not working here. Maybe this will.
Or for example, David G has an idea, a 3D scanner that shows you the ore in the area around you. That's another good idea for the LCD, LCD in Cockpit. Yeah.
Oh, it's interesting. Some of these worlds that I'm trying to load here aren't. I don't know why. It's kind of unfortunate here. Maybe this one will work. If not, I can just put them down.
And by the way, everyone who has the decorative pack gets a badge in the main menu.
Ah, yes.
So if you want to have all the badges, let's think there is one badge for decorative pack, then there is the middle one is the veteran, Joel, right? When you finish the scenario.
Yeah, so the middle one.
The left one is Deluxe Edition. That has been there for some time.
Deluxe, the veteran, the decorative pack, and you say this is the veteran again. If you didn't know and you missed the news, if you complete this scenario, Learn to Survive, you will unlock the veteran badge and the veteran Mark II suit as well. So, let's see. Oh, I'm so gutted. I had these worlds prepped, and for some reason they're not working, and I'm so sad. Maybe I'll try and paste in the encounters manually. Or Aragaf can join me. Aragaf, maybe you can join my world, Aragaf, and you can paste in some stuff for me, mate. Because it's a shame, I had them prepared to show off. Basically, they're the worlds and stuff I made in the trailer, right? So, Aragaf, it's open to friends. If you can join Aragaf, that'd be great, man. Right, I'll see if I can find these here using the dev controls. Let's see. I think the section, there's a good section here. Section F, I think, is one good one. Right. Hello, where's it gone? Oh, hello. There we go. This is one from the trailer. This is again a new encounter from Jochen. You can find in here. That's one side. It's just got a simple. This is quite a small one, I think. It's got a bed inside. Oh, it's moving. What the heck? It's flying. Wait, what? Oh! I just found one of the traps, Marek. I just found one of the traps. I went inside. Well, now you know, guys. You know one of the secrets. I'm sorry. There was basically this encounter, and I walked inside a room, and it's like a trap, and it ejects you out, sends you flying. Oh, damn. So there's a preview that in some of these encounters, there's some little tricks. Who knows what kind of traps you might find in there. So, goodness. Yes, sorry, I didn't mean to spoil it. I actually showed this one in the video, and I had no idea it had this functionality. My goodness.
And Lost Kangaroo is asking if the space toilet is functional, and so I think the answer is it is not, but someone should mod it. I would really want to see it, and if you mod it, please send this to us at info@kinswh.com, and I really want to see it. You know, like I think we should make a lot of fun with this.
Okay. Which is the one with the... Okay. Come back to the main station here. Did we go through the complete blog post now, Marek?
Yeah, we actually
Covered everything?
kind of went through it, yes. So let's go from the beginning. Yeah, again, the free part is customizable LCD and the replay tool and Steam
soundtrack,
pages and
yeah.
soundtrack for the Deluxe Edition and few other smaller things. Then the paid part is the decorative pack, and there is 14 blocks that mostly have just decorative like meaning, and some of them like the console have more than just decorative. I mean, it's still decorative, but there is some functionality in it. And so again, the LCD is free for everyone, replay tool is free for everyone. We are looking forward to see the creations, the videos, and I'm like really going to watch YouTube this night and see what people will be posting. Joel also made a video tutorial for the replay tool. It's in our blog post, which is at blog.maregrossa.org. There are new encounters with the decorative packs, and what else? Yeah, we have many decorative packs, and why it's paid, it's to support further development of space engineers. Not that we don't have money, because actually the revenue is quite well, but you know, it's always good to be thinking about how to make the company even more stable. You know, this is really important for me, because when we have the stable company, stable financing, good team, and all these things, you know, these kind of like rudimentary things, but still important things, when they are solved, then you can be creative, you can do some risky things, you can start doing risky features, projects, or whatever, because you know that there is a very good plan B, or you have a wall behind your back. You know, that's very important. That's the main thing why we actually need to be thinking about money or revenue. If there wasn't this thing, I would really like not care at all. And yeah, there is also some merchandising, which we already had like for years, but I think most people don't know about this. So
there's a command in the chat. If you exclamation mark merch is the command in the chat.
Merchandising.
Yeah, the merch. There's a link to it in chat.
Yes, okay. And there are some T-shirts and poster and things like that. So what is ahead of us? Yeah, we are already working on the next update and on next content, and I'm thinking how much should I tease or not, but we already teased this on the release live stream, so I think many people have a feeling. And
we can look, well, the things ahead, right? We can say, I think it's the information's already, well, we've already, the rough plans, right?
Yeah. I think the rough plan is economy and weapons pack or something.
Yeah, so it's the things we're looking at, the areas, like the first of which was decoratives, and then the other areas, it's expanding the scenarios, economy, and weapons. Again, just showing here, Marek, how you can actually customize any screen, not just like the cockpit, not just like the standard LCDs, but also even the programmable block. Any block that, I think even, I think a medbay, I'm just going to quickly check. I'm assuming a medbay, but I'm not entirely sure. I never tested it. Right. Yeah, it looks like it. No, maybe not medical room. Okay. Not sure then if that was.
So Thomas Leven is asking, Marek, can we use external things like TensorFlow in programmable block? And my answer would be like, maybe if someone does some like interesting, you know, like interface between our programmable blocks and TensorFlow, then like of course yes. I think it won't be that easy, or like it will not work out of the box, but if someone really wants, it's definitely doable. Or maybe do it through modding API or through like more hardcore modding that people doing.
Fix that. Maybe I can show off the replay tool here. Hold on a second. Ooh, I had a thinking here. Oh, I know what I'll do. Load this one works. I mean, the main thing is that with it all, it's the plan to continue to support the game in a number of ways, right? Like it's like, even though the release people might have thought, okay, that's it, right? But be it more like vanilla, but be it more like platform updates, or be it premium, whatever it will be, there'll always be like a kind of a good balance of it, right?
But basically, the thing is to add more stuff to Space Engineers. That's one thing. Another is to try to move Space Engineers in like very specific, narrow areas where we can experiment with new game modes. That's how I would say it. And something we don't want to do in the basic game, because it would mean a lot of changes to the basic game, which we cannot do. But if we spin the game a little bit to a side, make the experiment there, focus only on what we must focus in that spin-off. So this is another thing where we want to go.
Okay. Just showing the replay here to Marek, where I've got these characters already preset from the trailer, and then I hit replay, and away the scene goes. So this is a quick example here how you've got this scene which I prepared, and you can really make it come alive. And I haven't really looked at it too much in this stream yet, so I wanted to quickly come back to this, how you might think this is for more advanced users, and I think on the whole we imagine content creators making videos using this, because it takes some little time to master and get quick at it. But I think everyone can use this to actually create really cool screenshots. As I said, like if you just add 1 million characters here like this, and you don't want to like necessarily record their steps, but what you can do is have them here, have them here, have them here. I know it's pretty crazy. Here. It's almost there. So when you're making like, people are making like screenshots their workshop worlds, or even like that kind of stuff, they can actually use this. Oh, there's one more left, one more floating guy. There we go. There we go. So now you can imagine this, like say for example Northie Park, who built this particular rover, wants to publish it. Rather than just have it there, he could have like a shot like this, for example, like boom, I don't know, so you get the idea, right? And I'm not recording anything, but players can make some really amazing screenshots using this, right? So I think actually everyone can have a crack at the replay tool. So again, if you want to find that, Alt F10 to bring up the admin screen, and normally it'll look like this, and then you go on the drop down, and you go down to the very bottom, and we have replay tool. And here again, there's the reload world option. There's the add character, remove character, change skin, stop replay, record and replay, and delete recordings completely cleans the world of recordings. So,
by the way, Captain Jake is saying that the replay tool is cool and it has a learning curve.
Definitely.
But players will enjoy it. Yeah. So this is really important to mention, is that it's not the most accessible and easy tool to use. You know what I mean? It's like really for advanced users. But we are assuming that the video content creators, like they will get used to it. So it's not really something, like to use as easy as some like an app on your phone. It's more complicated, but it's not overly complicated. It has its limits, but again, you will be able to create the same stuff, or hopefully even better, that Joel was creating in last year. But I think
I've still got some secrets.
I think it will take some time until people will get to Joel's level, I think, because I think he really pushed it.
I've spent I've spent at least 1,000 hours with this tool, and there's little tips and tricks, many infuriating lessons. I mean, to be fair, it depends, because for example, when it's a trailer, like this shot, right? I just replayed it. I could have recorded it. It's done. 5 minutes. That's not. It looks like that, but it's actually more than that, because normally with some of the shots, like there's multiple takes, different angles to get the perfection that that's what I try to go for. So there's a couple of things, but I do expect there will probably be some people who are better than me eventually, because they're just, I don't know. I've got to keep my game up. Yeah. So. So looking back here, I think, I spent more time with the tool than SC. I mean, recently, the last year since the tool's been out, you might say so actually. Trying to see if there's.
Yeah. So just a reminder again, tomorrow. Same time as this live stream, we are doing a video tutorial with one of our programmers, Miro, about programmable blocks and customizable LCDs. So everyone who is interested in this, please watch, or maybe later you can see the recording. But I think if you will watch tomorrow, you can still ask questions directly from Miro. And Miro, I think, is the best guy to show this, to explain how the programmable blocks work, because he's doing a lot of stuff with them and he understands the game, the engine and everything. So it's a really good opportunity tomorrow. So that's that. And then we'll also be doing a competition.
Yes.
And are we announcing it now or sometime later? Because I'm not sure.
Well, I think officially we're announcing it, but I guess we can have a teaser. There will be a competition.
Okay.
So yeah, you can kind of get you. Obviously, the details of that are not yet said, but personally, something that again I would love to do. It's not, which is what it's not, is do some kind of scripting stuff, right? To see some kind of scripting competition, to see what's the coolest scripts that we could get on these LCD screens, and maybe even implement some of the scripts into vanilla. I'm just an idea, nothing promised. I'm just saying it'd be pretty cool though, because like I said, I can imagine that our modders are going to be doing some really cool scripts. So to see some of these in the coming weeks I'm super hyped.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm trying to think if we should. Is there some? Let me just quickly scroll through the blog post myself to see if I. Okay. Yeah, we did do that. I just wish I could get onto the freaking thing to show off the the other encounters that Joachim had, but it's going to be probably risky. I don't want to spoil any more things. Put down a corner LCD screen. Okay, hold up. I'm going to go back out here and have a look at the other world. Don't do it. I mean, I think it's safe. I don't think there's anything sketchy with it. You say corner LCDs. Okay. No content. Script. Oh, there's nothing on it. So by default, it seems it's plain, I think. But when we can go ahead and put the... This might have to be scaled, this one. Let's see. I'm not sure all the screens are prepped for that actually. I don't think if the and like with any update, guys, our guys have been working really hard to obviously test out all the new functionality of all the new blocks and of course the LCD things. But if you find any issues, please do visit our support site. There's a command in chat, !support, and that will take you to the support site, and you can report bugs and suggest maybe some ideas that you might have about this. So here's of course the classic flight seat. I can go. This really should work because it was in the video. So hold on. Maybe let's see. Velocity. There we go. So the most important information, I think. Speed is pretty good. So I can quickly change this again to show how I can. Oh, there we go. All right then, Marek. At least on my part, I think I've really obviously quickly shown off everything. Have I forgotten anything? Any of our developers in chat? Any of the guys who've been working really hard on this stuff? Do any of them have any suggestions of something I should show? I think I've covered it all. Or maybe some more knowledgeable chat members who might have some, who might know some things about this update and might be able to also direct us.
Yeah, Captain Jack was asking about if we can tease some future update. So he was just asking like a couple seconds ago. So again, economy, weapons, but the actual form, I think it would be too soon to talk about, because we are still working on it. Things can change from day to day. Yeah. And actually even the economy, I haven't seen the first work in progress implementation yet. I just saw, of course, the designs, but not the actual implementation. I only saw actually, 2 blocks today, right, Joel, on the team meeting.
Yes. So
yeah, but now I can remember, they were real blocks or just like hand drawing from Natic.
They were sketches. So our artists are
but they look kind of real.
They're pretty. Natic's pretty good with the pen. So there's a couple of concepts being drawn up, I think. So yeah. You can see again. Now by default this table scales it so the ship will be the same size as the space pretty much. So if it's a massive ship, it's going to be bigger and over it. But if it's a smaller ship like a fighter, by default it's going to be blown up to size. But of course if you want to have it smaller, come here.
And Henning Stone is saying even Marek is yet to be teased. Yeah, that's true in this case. Because there still can be some things different in the implementation. So the implementation of this first prototype can be slightly different to what we agreed on in the design, because sometimes that happens. So yeah, definitely I will also be surprised, hopefully in the positive way. But I think I will be, because it should be good.
Okay, I want to have a look at try and see if I can...
And Brucey is asking, hey Marek, is the small cryopod thing that was teased some time ago part of this update or not? So it's not part of this update. It will be in one of the next. And Joel, how do you understand this question?
What about combining the playback tool with the hollow projector table?
Showing ship battles.
Oh, showing ship battles. That's not functionality that has. It would be really cool, I admit, actually, when you see these tiny little fighters, right? But that's because the fighters are kind of smaller, but again, due to the our render and our engine, the smallest size is 2%, and obviously fighters, that's a lot smaller here, but if I put something a bit bigger, again, that's automatically scaled that shuttle. It's going to be over the size. I mean, let's try putting in a Star Trek ship here. Let's see if it will load here. There we go. Let's put the USS Lucille. Let's see what happens. Come on. Is it in? I might be in already. It's coming. There it is. Oh god. Right. So. Okay. So this is the idea for a ship like this. You're going to want to have a bigger bridge to show this off. Okay, maybe. Oh no, still not quite right. It's going to take some adjusting here. Precise thing here, Marek. But it's pretty cool being able to walk around a projection like this and see, like, so if you can imagine this in survival, where like, okay, we want to build this ship, let's have a little look at it, and not just look at it, an image of it, let's actually load it up and visualize it. Okay, so we're going to need, like, okay, we're going to be building this and this bit. You can see all the little bits on here. So this kind of shows you. Again, if I open this up a bit here, if I kind of move this, So because if you had this on a bridge of the ship that we're showing here, you can imagine it'd be a lot bigger. So I think 2% it's a nice size. I know I can imagine some people would want it smaller, but it causes technical problems. So that's something just due to render reasons. I'm not the best describer of that, but there is a reason, a good reason for it as the way it is now. Let's just lift it up a little bit here as well. So, okay, there we go. Raise in the room. I'll push it forward a bit as well. You're on chat duty today, Marek. You're on chat duty today, so I've just been so like focused in the game.
But it's interesting.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Let's see. Right. Is there any more questions that you've seen? Because actually you've got two chats. We can actually look at this now as well. If you want to have a better look here, there you go. There's both our chats. Okay. Turn off the lights in the projector room. Emissivity was added. It's a good point because when I first saw this, the holograms weren't so bright, and I think that goes for all projectors. Projections are now more emissive now. So let's see. So on their own in a dark room, let me just add all the lights. You should see them because beforehand, unless the room was lit correctly, you wouldn't actually see them. There was a change. Yes.
I will just step in. So
Yeah,
P Cypher is asking what kind of weapons can we expect. So we're actually still discussing this a lot, and so I cannot really like make a list. There are some there are many arguments why it should be this or that. Maybe we can use this as an opportunity for you people to write top 3 weapons you would want to have.
That reminds me. I was on my
even now you can type it to the chat, either like YouTube or Twitch.
We've got both chats up. I mean, one of the things, Marek, I haven't told you about yet. On Friday, I was doing a kind of casual feeling about people and weapons, just combat in SE in general, like pros and cons of combat in SE. And I was doing some research gathering, and I haven't spoken to you about it yet. So it was pretty interesting actually to find out what the majority or from a selection of players liked and what they didn't like. So I think for something like this. For something like this, we should probably do some official formal poll to get an opinion on combat in Space Engineers and how people would like it to be, how they'd like to be improved, what kind of weapons they'd imagine, because I think it's a hot topic, and in some ways some people want super sci-fi, some people want to keep it more like not so distant and against a kind of more grounded in the laws of physics as we know them.
So you are not talking about the weapons, you're talking about more like
the overall thing, including weapons. It's weapons, but it's obviously if there's weapons, it can't just be weapons. It has to be more thought goes into it about the balance of all those things and the other mechanics in it. So I think actually it would do us pretty good to have an official feedback form to get people's current feelings on it. Because I did some on Friday on my stream, but
And can you sum this up? Like the findings from that stream?
From the stream?
By the way, very interesting suggestions are people writing. I'm not even able to read it all, but I'm really, really very happy they are writing this. I would say it's mostly kind of like this laser kind of guns. That's like the main thing I see. And then of course there are some other guns. Funny thing is that mostly people are talking about guns that sound like a block weapons. You know what I mean? Like not about hand weapons. But maybe I'm just reading it wrong. What do you think? So would you want to see like more hand weapons or more block weapons? Just like turrets or those things. Something that you can mount on a ship. So again, hand weapons or ship weapons.
I think people would like a selection of both, because I think...
Of course, but which one is more? Because it's mostly block.
I think mostly block, because again...
This is actually very useful to know. I mean, I was also thinking about the hand weapons, obviously, but this is very interesting to see. But it actually makes sense, because I always thought that people in Space Engineers are about, like, they like new blocks because they can use them creatively to create whatever they want.
Well, SE is more about, it's all, I mean, even though we've have some customization of the characters and stuff like that a little bit, we've always said that Space Engineers is more about what you build.
Yes.
And that is, would be blocks. But I think for a fully rounded experience, having a couple of, it wouldn't have to be a ton of character weapons, but a couple of, like, like a rocket launcher, for example, would be my number one, like a shoulder mounted rocket launcher and a pistol. I mean, those two for me would be like the first ones I pick. You've got the assault rifle, you've got something a little bit more basic, and you've got something that can actually shoot down ships. I think those, like, it's an example, for example. I don't think you'd have to go into the detail of some, shooter game to have loads of different combinations, but a couple of different functions which would come with hand weapons would be a minimum, I think.
Mm-hmm. I'm actually like for both, for block and for the hand weapons.
Yeah, that's good.
Because for me, Space Engineers, of course, obviously it's about what you create and not about some artificial, skill levels on your character. But Space Engineers for me is also about interacting with the world, and usually you use hand tools or weapons to interact with the world. So I'm for both, but it's really interesting to see this ratio, because I don't know, like maybe I was thinking like half and half or something.
I think it would need to be more, again, a wider poll, more official, but from the quick kind of research I did on my stream, there was around, how many was there? There was around like 130, 140 people kind of responding. And when it came to people like the idea of like flat guns, torpedoes, kind of more ballistic weapons, rail guns, because obviously we have rail guns even now being used.
Yeah, I have many of them at home.
But when it came to stuff like laser weapons and shields, that was a much more controversial area. Lots of people wanted them, but lots of people don't want them. But everyone was agreeing, at least in this portion of players that I was asking about, everyone was down to have more ballistic, more like flak, kind of, as I say, Battlestar Galactica themed battles, which is a bit like how SE is now, right? With the explosions and stuff like that, rather than beams and energy. So that's what it seemed, because I kind of did this rough kind of, all right, show of hands, like yay or nay for energy weapons. And the energy weapons and shields were definitely more like, yeah, it's going to be interesting, I think. I mean, yes, and we discussed this, Talia. I'm not saying, obviously, when it comes to lasers, we were also talking about how even now we have these high concentration lasers which can shoot down drones and all the rest of it, that are used by forces already. But what we're talking about is these kind of like plasma sci-fi things, right? And shields in that form. I'm not talking about lasers don't exist or anything like that. We're talking about, some of it's more about the visual style of the combat in SE. And personally, I'm split, right? I say, for me, I would love to see these kind of shield effects rippling and have this layer of strategy where it's like, okay, right, I'm going to go defensive now, like shields up, shields to front, shields to back, all power to shields, all power to weapons, all power to like adding that layer in with the kind of like lasers and shields and stuff. But then part of me loves the kind of just like raw explosions, ballistic DACA of stuff like BSG.
Keep a game to stay true to what it is. You know what I mean? Like to not go with Space Engineers in too many incompatible directions, and we can keep the plasma guns or like these laser things for later or for something else. But yeah, these shields and stuff, they're really good, and especially in this new Star Trek, Discovery. That's yeah.
Sitting here. Oh, I wanted to show something in here. But yeah, guys, as I see, it's a hot topic. It was a hot topic when I kind of was speaking with the chat on Friday, and even now I see, obviously, I can just from responses, it's a hot topic now. Like the differing opinions about it, and honestly, for myself, I can see it going. I can imagine it going either way, and I'm kind of okay with that. I think I just think we need to think about the best balance. This is the key thing with a combat thing, is to try and get a rounded experience with it, with the kind of the battles and stuff like that. And I think it definitely requires research, and also be that market research, or just speaking to our community about like what they see. So yeah, I'm trying to be the kind of intermediary kind of middle ground. I'm not saying that I don't like any of this. I'm just saying that it's one of these things that it's a hot topic, and I think when we approach this, we do need to be careful, because if we add certain things that like 50% of people love and 50% of people hate, it's kind of like, whereas ideally we want to be looking at things that are win-wins for everybody. So what was I showing? That was it, to show the back inside here.
So R3D Oneness is asking, would it be possible later on to get the holo projector to detect block damage? And I think it should be doable, this kind of script, because I have seen something that is like, actually I'm not, but maybe yes, maybe someone can do this. You know, that you have a blueprint and you are just detecting the differences between, you know, the actual grid and the blueprint. What do you think, Joel?
Yeah, I mean,
and then there is the nanite.
The nanite.
The nanite mod, and I don't know how that one works, but maybe the author had to solve something similar already, but I'm not sure, to be honest. But I think this should be doable for the LCD screens, you know, to display this. Like if you can get the data from the game, not nani, but nanite. You know, the thing that can like automatically repair your blocks. Nani mods.
Nani mods. It's interesting seeing the, just bring up the weapons. I say there's a lot of good conversation happening in the chat about it. Like I'm seeing it now, like people discussing shields, right? People saying, yes, give us shields, give us, this is why I just quickly revisiting it. Seeing, you can see even looking at the chats now, how there's, among our community, it's a very split conversation, right? So.
Yeah, very good chat this day.
As always, we always learn so much from doing these streams, and also, I mean, still the support site, right, guys? Please do visit the support site to leave any feedback or issues that you have with the game, because there might be, I say there's a new update, and with every major update that we have, even though our team are very thorough, there's always things that can slip through. So please, if you find anything, do get that reported ASAP so we can get it sorted. And it's like with the leading up to the release of Space Engineers, you guys have helped massively, and we really do appreciate your continued support in whatever way that might be. It's almost like we need a stream, Marek, like dedicated to discussing combat and Space Engineers, like as it is and where it could be, right? Because as you see how many ideas there are.
Like obviously there are many ways how to do this. One direction with like streamlining the combat, but what I'm talking now is not about the weapons, you know, it's about the combat and how to put it into some kind of game loop so that you get to the combat as fast as possible. You know, like you connect to other players who also want to play, and then you play without worrying that your base that you were building for days will get destroyed, because it will be just a quick combat. And we are also in the team discussing what are the most important things you want to be doing in this kind of game. Like, is it building, is it mining, is it like building the ship or repairing the ship, or like copy pasting a blueprint and finalizing the ship? Or is it the fighting and hand-to-hand fighting, or are we talking about like ship versus ship kind of fighting? So we are thinking about this a lot, but I think the first step, whatever direction we choose, first step is actually to streamline, to simplify the access to this combat. Joel, you know what I mean? To make some kind of arena. It doesn't need to be like arena like an enclosed area, just like Arena simplified combat with very simple resource management or almost not at all, and just focus on what is the, like for myself, because we are just discussing this, so I like my head is full of this. So for me, the most important part of Space Engineers is when you are in the 3D world and interacting with the 3D world by hand, and just like step by step, and getting the satisfaction of building something or destroying something and seeing it. This is most important, like the inventory, you know, those things, they are not, you know, the main thing. I would say maybe even kind of like obstacle. Like for some people, there are probably good way how to micromanage things, but for me, interacting with the world is the most important. So I'm thinking, when I'm thinking about combat, I'm thinking about how to bring up, you know, these like core elements, these most important elements, how to bring them up and make the game around them. Not about like billion other things that are in Space Engineers, but about that.
I mean, there was one point that I wanted to give a shout out, or in a way, to the builders and the engineers out there, because in some ways, it also came up in last Friday's stream, was the fact that, you know, not everyone's interested in combat, and I think it's vital that, I think it's good that to have that, but I think SE is never going to be like what's the word? It's going to be 90% combat, because a lot of it is about what you build, but there's no denying that people want to have a good combat experience. So this is why I think, like, so for the builders and stuff like that, it's not like we've forgotten about, it's not like we want to convert space into like this, you know, like nuking, you know, Stone Age thing. But
as it is, will stay as it is. Yeah. You know, it should be sandbox and with some survival, but even the survival, in my opinion, is very sandboxy. So, and this should stay like this. I'm talking about some spin-off ideas or something like that. Definitely we cannot change something that already Quake engineers. We cannot change something that is already, you know, out there for 6 years. People are used to it. Like, that'd be crazy.
But when it comes to the update itself, Marek, I'd have to admit this new cockpit is absolutely glorious. Like, it just feels so good to have the visibility to look around what I'm doing, and the screens being at the forefront of my vision as well, so I can see the information. More ideas here.
I will check, Joel.
Okay.
The workshop, you know, if there is not something new. Like very recent.
Yeah, sure. Again, I'm going to quickly, for those of you, because some of you might have joined us late, I'm going to quickly show off the thing from Whiplash, which is again an example of what you can do with the new programmable blocks if you are a scripter. So you can, you can bet that there's going to be a ton of really cool scripts that to display on your LCDs very soon. So I think this is so great, and I just got to give another shout out to Whiplash. It's beautiful work here, because in our game we actually now have some icons for modders to use. So these squares and triangles and circles, some basic shapes, can now be accessed by scripters. They're actually in the vanilla game. So you can, scripters can use these basic shapes to create scripts, right? And this was actually some feedback from some of our helpers who actually got this in. So it's even, there's more than meets the eye, because we have this support for scripters and modders in the game. And those who care about that stuff, well, it should be everyone, because in the end, even if you're not a scripter, you might end up using these scripts and these mods. So here's Whiplash's radar system, the WMI radar system here, with a 3D map. Yes, that's interesting. That's very interesting indeed.
This is interesting checkbox. I didn't know it's there. You know.
Oh yeah, that's.
Maybe that's something new, because we were just discussing this in the email. You know, show incompatible items.
I think that's not new. I think it was also for like. Oh, I don't know if that is new there. I can't remember.
I noticed this just first time.
This is a work in progress. I don't think he's released it yet, guys. There's a lot of really exciting support. I'm not sure if we... Yeah, there's draw... I think that's the thing. There's drawing... you can basically draw things on the screens now, Flightless. I know this is a massive deal for scripters, and I don't think we're at the tip of the iceberg right now with what people will be able to do with this. We've really added some amazing functionality, right?
Actually, I had similar kind of radar for Minor Wars.
Really?
Like, for the first prototypes, when I was like doing the radar myself, it was very similar. And also I remember how I have these like simple icons for the, like for showing where the object is, and also where it like this vertical line crosses the horizontal, displaying.
Yeah, and it switches.
Yeah.
So is there a term? I say Rivian's saying disc radar.
And also that it's, like the projection of this ring is not perspective, but it's kind of orthogonal. That's another thing that I forgot how I had it, if it was perspective or not, but I think I was experimenting with this orthogonal as well.
Let's see here. Oh, apparently it is released. It's released right now, guys. Maybe Whiplash released it as the...
This one?
That's it right there, I think.
So it's on top of the, like if you look on
nice.
recent workshop items, you will see Whiplash thread-based radar.
In that case, we could try and actually install it right now and get it on these screens here instead. Let's see. So if someone's got a link for me, Wuxian's. I'm curious. Is there anything? We spoke about all the modding support, right, Marek? We spoke about the changes to that, right? Let's see, new. There it is. Okay, so it needs a couple of things. Add turrets to your script. Place one or more controllers. Okay, very nice. Okay, maybe I'll actually see. Just think. What time is it? Right. I think I might do that later. Actually, I think I'm gonna showcase this a little bit later. There's a couple of steps I need to follow here, and I don't want to do it wrong on the official stream. get it messed up. But yeah, you can check it out, guys. If you want that radar mod right now, it's on the workshop. There's a couple of links in chat for it. So thank you so much, everyone who's been linking that up, because definitely Whiplash deserves the biggest of shout outs. So I think it's probably the first script that's been made with this. I know there's a number of people working on some cool ones, but if I'm not mistaken, that's the first one to go live. So, just wish I could get those other. Let me see if I can find this other. So there's one in particular, guys. There's one encounter I really want to show you. I used it in the trailer, but I can't think what it's called. I'm glad you like it, Wuxian. I say it's. I'm gonna check. I'm trying to check my conversation with Aragaf here to find it. Aragaf sent me basically some of the best ones. So I'm curious also, who in chat has decided to pick up the decorative pack? Maybe just put a little 07 or give us a little wave in the chats on YouTube and Twitch. Just kind of curious here. That's quite. Oh damn, damn. Okay. All these 07s are people who have decided to purchase the decorative pack.
Okay, nice. Yeah, I've seen many people saying they purchased the decorative pack, so thank you very much.
Wait, where is it?
And also the guys were telling me it's selling well, so yeah, I think it went very well. And I also hope people will enjoy the decorative pack. For years, actually.
Sorry, I've just been trying to find this particular encounter, and I've just found it now. Okay. Where? I don't know. You can answer that one,
No,
Marek.
there was just some siren
Asking if the studio's. 1 second.
in a bad neighborhood. And no, it's a good neighborhood. It actually was bad neighborhood maybe 15 years ago, but now it's kind of like office / hipster area, and it's very nice here, of course.
Here, Marek, here's another encounter made by Joachim. It's just beautiful because you just don't know what's happened to it.
Mm-hmm.
You look at this here. I'm not going to try and. I'm trying to avoid spoiling anything. You can see it's been severed off here. But the reason I wanted to show this is I love this little kitchen area here.
There are actually 2 kitchens.
Yeah, this is like a full-on.
Yeah, maybe it's a restaurant or like a McDonald's or something.
I did this actually in the trailer here. This was a shot in the trailer. It was something like this. It's got some smoke here. It's got this grubs up. Get your grub. I love even we got the subtle. This is like probably a trash can built into the kitchen here, but I love it uses the same textures as like ejector, that kind of yellow pattern. So we've got a microwave as well. So this is an example of like how you can use the new blocks. You got the couch, the planters in the background, some lockers. Is Aragaf lurking? I'm not sure if Aragaf's here. Wojtek saying the bed block takes oxygen.
Hipsters, you say it's still a bad neighborhood.
Bed block takes oxygen from the environment around it to pressurize it. So yeah, the bed block, the bed block hasn't. I don't think it's got a conveyor, but it doesn't recharge your. If you're in if the bed block's just out in space, for example, you're not going to get recharged oxygen. So I've got the kind of kitchen back here.
But well, Joel, how long do you want to have the stream?
It's up to you now, Marek. I'll roll the video one more time when we finish, but we can wrap it whenever you want.
I'm actually enjoying it pretty much.
Okay.
But, I don't want to make it too long for people, so they get tired. So
their stamina is pretty impressive, I'm sure.
Let's play the video and then we can say goodbye.
Okay, we'll watch. Okay, let's roll the video, and for those of you who missed it, and we'll be back in just a sec to say goodbye and maybe some closing thoughts. Let's go then. 3, 2, 1. Oh wait, I'm going to also turn off the music of the game first.
There are many things which inspire us to create. The desire to help our fellow engineers. The exhilaration felt after we try something completely new. The urge to improve something that already exists. The wish to share our stories with others. Or perhaps it's the will to overcome our fears. The need to create has always been with us. It was with us when we left Earth, and it continues continues to guide us across the stars. Whether exploring new worlds or building something that has never been seen before, we never stop creating. But creating isn't just about practicality. It's about being bold. It's about taking the ordinary and turning it into something extraordinary. It's about comfort. It's about blending functionality with style. It's about beauty. It's about developing technologies to protect the natural world. It's about learning from the past in order to make a brighter future. It's about breathing new life into the status quo. It's about letting your imagination run wild. It's about something bigger than all of us. It's about being proud of your creations. It's about not settling for something that's good, but striving to achieve something that's truly great. Introducing the Space Engineers Decorative Pack. What will you create?
Well, there you go, guys. There's the video again, for those who missed it. So, let's see, me community. Yeah, Era, you know what I was talking about. Yeah, I slipped a couple of things in there for sure. Yes. What can I say? It's been a wild ride tonight, in for sure. And the one point I wanted to make is actually we've noticed now that it's in the top sellers of Steam actually. In the local, it's like 5th on the list, and in the global top sellers, the Decorative Pack is around 11th or 12th. Is it 15th? Or
Kind of 15th.
15th, yeah, 15th, which is really cool to see actually. So
especially
clearly people are responding.
Compared to the price, because the DLC is so cheap that actually it has to sell a lot of copies to get equal with the other games, because there is like Tropico, which is €50. So they just need to sell one copy. We need to sell like many copies, like 20 or something.
If you look at the front page, actually, there's if you that top sellers page, there's like 25 to 30 items, and it's the only one on there which is below $5 actually.
Yeah, but I had one more idea. Like someone was like mentioning the voiceover, the narration in the video, and I want to ask if people know who is our secret narrator for all our videos in last year.
I think some people might know, but so you can shout them out again. It's a good point.
You can type this to the chat.
Oh, okay. So shout out to his last name.
And let them guess.
You said too late. All right, I've said it already. So Natik, he's head of our art. So basically all of the blocks were concepted by him, and then he would have got like Honza Trauske would have created these blocks, but all the block designs was all concepted by him, and he also did the voiceover for the last 3 or so videos. And also a shout out to Carol for the soundtrack, right? Yes. Because as always, the trailer was that's my part really. But again, I couldn't do it without the help from Marek, kind of overseeing it, and also Natik for the voiceover, and Carol for the sounds, music as well. So,
by the way, the reason it's not me doing the voiceover, but Natik, is that I think first off, Natik, he's really a trained actor. Like, of course, he's not English, natural speaker. He's from, well, I always forgot, is it Kazakhstan or Azerbaijan? Azerbaijan. So he's from Azerbaijan, so Russian language is his mother tongue. But I think his English is very nice with a slight accent, and I really like that because it makes it more like engineer for some reason to me. So that's really what I enjoy. And also he has a really calm voice, like very calm, like you don't feel any tension in his voice. And so I think he's, for now, like very good voice actor for me personally, for our trailers. And who wrote the narration for this one is Jesse.
Yes,
maybe
Jesse.
Someone helped with something, but I'm quite sure that I think Jesse wrote it all. So
Jesse might be in chat
thanks
as well,
Jesse
actually.
as well for that. And we are always trying to put some space engineer lore, like in every narration that we do.
Here you go, Marek. I'm just trying to. That's the first time I've done this actually. Is combining the kitchen block with the desk. I haven't done this before, but actually it works perfectly into this kind of like kitchen with built-in counter here. And Jesse's in the chat, so that's Blitz333 in the chat is Jesse. And he will be the one who will be responding to your support tickets as well, so be kind. But no, seriously, he told me today before the stream started, he just said to remind everyone to really, if you have any issues, any bugs, ideas, please do send them in, and Jesse will get back to you. Normally it's between 24 to 48 hours is he's resolving is responding to those support tickets. Let's see some other colours here. Let's try like a dark grey. Can we get some official SE lore? Well, it's kind of here and there, isn't it? It's kind of like we kind of think you kind of want to sneak it in now and again. There's nothing like big, no overarching story, but
I think there are only few specific things, and we have one diagram, with the history of space engineers, and actually I think almost no one has access to this. Only I think I showed it to Jesse, and maybe
I think I might have seen it in the past.
Yeah. So that's it. And then there are just kind of like feelings. I would not call it even lore. It's kind of like just feelings that I have in my head, for the space engineers lore. I think one day we'll actually focus on the space engineers lore and finalize it. Jesse would definitely want to do that. So one day we should do this. And the timeline of space engineers, it has different dates. And so 2077 is just one of them. Then there are some other dates, and yeah. But I think I need to like focus on this for some time and to get it properly done. I don't want to just like rush it or just like do some quick lore or something. I really want to like think this through.
Yeah, Mark just set up a little mini kitchen here. Because that's another thing, again, showing the replay tool. You saw how I quickly added some players in.
It's
and
kind of
them
like Last Dinner. Actually, that would be nice to make this recreation. This famous picture, like Last Dinner?
Yeah.
To make a recreation in Space Engineers.
You could do it possibly because you could get like people, because some people like standing behind and so on. Like actually, yeah, there's a challenge for someone who's recreate that image. So. But what's nice about this, again, coming back to the replay tool and screenshots, is you can put these engineers down and then on your ship, boom, screenshot. And this could be, of course, inside your ship, but it has this this feeling that it's, you've got your crew manning your ship, right?
Yeah, and Janitor of Space Age is good lore. That I agree. So Joel, maybe we are finished.
Yeah. Okay, we can wrap this up.
Yeah.
But thank you so much, guys. Yes, Carolina, there's still some I've got to add to that, so I will get onto that. Yes, thank you for reminding me.
Basically, Joel will add the blueprints or worlds or whatever from the trailer on the workshop, and I guess it will be in the description of the video, the links, right?
Exactly, yeah. So thank you, guys. I hope you enjoy the update, and I'm really looking forward to seeing the new creations using this, the replay tool, the videos, the screenshots, using the replay tool to create some awesome moments, and what the modders will do with this new LCD functionality, because it's honestly it's so exciting. So I think the next couple of weeks can be really interesting indeed. I will possibly be doing some more recap on this in a little bit and showing off some of the more things, but we've kind of gone over all of it now, but maybe we'll try and do some racing or something with the new cockpit, I think. But thank you, guys. And any final words, Marek? Or would be a really final words?
Thank you. Enjoy the LCD, the deco pack, and replay tool, and please send us the creations.
Yes.
You know,
screenshots on Twitter.
Screenshots or videos from the replay tool or deco pack. You know, some new ideas. Also, wait for the competition, which will start soon, or which will be announced soon. And also share with us the scripts and whatever you do for the LCD panels.
Definitely.
So yeah, thank you for watching today, and see you, hopefully soon.
Yeah, thank you for all your support, guys. It's so appreciated, and we'll see you all very soon. Goodbye.
Bye bye.
There are many things which inspire us to create. The desire to help our fellow engineers. The exhilaration felt after we try something completely new. The urge to improve something that already exists. The wish to share our stories with others. Or perhaps it's the will to overcome our fears. The need to create has always been with us. It was with us when we left Earth, and it continues to guide us across the stars. Whether exploring new worlds or building something that has never been seen before, we never stop creating. But creating isn't just about practicality. It's about being bold. It's about taking the ordinary and turning it into something extraordinary. It's about comfort. It's about blending functionality with style. It's about beauty. It's about developing technologies to protect the natural world. It's about learning from the past in order to make a brighter future. It's about breathing new life into the status quo. about letting your imagination run wild. It's about something bigger than all of us. It's about being proud of your creations. It's about not settling for something that's good, but striving to achieve something that's truly great. Introducing the Space Engineers Decorative Pack. What will you create?